Bonjour à tous et bienvenue à Rendez-vous avec
Yasmin,
et Kumar
our first program for 2022 links France and Sri Lanka
through dance,
through dance.
through dance.
Through dance.
Our show today combines classical, contemporary and traditional dance forms with one common language, dance.
And listen to this very beautiful story. Once upon a time, on the 9th of October 1990, a child was born at the Castle Street Hospital in Sri Lanka. He was named Upali Dehivala. 1 month after his birth, the infant was taken to France, adopted by a French couple. Upali lived and grew and studied in France.
Paul is French and is known as Paul Upali Gouëllo, a professional contemporary dancer with the famous Jean Claude Gallotta Company in France. Bonjour Paul,
Bonjour Yasmin.
Bienvenue à Rendez-vous. Tu es le premier invité à Rendez-vous pour 2022.
I'm really honored.
When and why did you dance?
Actually, I was a very energetic guy when I was a child, and hopefully my parents give me the possibility to have dance classes to express myself. And from the very first annual show I did with my class, I just be so thrilled about being on stage, and I was the first boy of the company of the dance school, and it was so exciting to feel the vibes of public and dancing in front of the light on stage. That was, I think, mainly why I started dancing.
Paul, talking of contemporary dance, names like Wayne McGregor, Paul Taylor, Maurice Béjart, Benjamin Millepied, Alonzo King were great choreographers who have changed the repertoire of dance companies with their fabulous, spectacular productions. Now, were they an inspiration to you to one day create your own company and do your own thing?
Actually, to do my own things, absolutely. During my studies, we really go into learning into all that kind of choreographers from worldwide who really changed the world thanks to their dance. And yes, it really gave me that curiosity to discover always more things in dance and in the gestures. And after the lockdown, I was really happy to leave Paris for countryside and discovering horse riding and working with some amazing friends now I've got into horse, Marion Clément and Laurence Robert, to do dance with horses and choreographing with the animals and the girls. That was quite an amazing experience, and that's something I would love to pursue.
Dancing with the famous Jean Claude Gallotta Company. It's amazing. What was your experience?
It brings me something really new for me because I was really into techniques and doing ballet, jazz, and contemporary. And Jean Claude Gallotta has that possibility to make everybody dance. So he's someone I really admire, and all his building is, for people, it's understandable to go into to see his show and doing a story with many kind of different dancers, from tall to maybe lower, and from many ethnicity as well, with And it was an amazing experience for me to work with such a choreographer.
I'm sorry, so sorry, that I was such a fool. I didn't know love could be so cruel. Moves across the oceans and into every port. A plague, a black plague. There's danger everywhere, and you've been sailing. And you're alone on an island now, tuning in. Did you think this was the way your world would end? Hombres, sailors.
On the subject of contemporary dance, we'd like to introduce to you now Kapila Palihawadena, who's been at the forefront of contemporary dance in Sri Lanka. Kapila, what is the uniqueness of your nAatanda dance company?
Uniqueness starting from nAatanda, it's nAatanda. nAatanda is full language combination. Na means nartana, ta means dance, is a German word for dance, and tansivat is a Russian word for dance, at the end English word dance. So these four languages combinations of coming together is nAatanda. So why nAatanda is very uniqueness? nAatanda is Sri Lanka's first contemporary professional dance company. It's really coincidence today, because today is the day that we celebrate the 20th of celebrations of nAatanda. So nAatanda has the different dance forms for the training. For we start with the classical ballet, then we go to contemporary dance, then we go to Kenyan dance. We also practice bit of like Bharatanatyam. So when we create things, we merge these all beautiful dance form into one particular beautiful art forms dance. So this is where the uniqueness is coming from.
Kapila, do you agree that modern or contemporary dance allows you to go beyond the rules of classical ballet?
Yes, absolutely. Because the classical ballet gives you a beautiful form of base as well as your foundation. But then to create something very unique that you can really listen to your body and to allow yourself to be a part of the creative process. That's the beautiful things about contemporary dance. You know, in classical ballet, sometimes like you have to be very strict with your positioning. But then contemporary dance is allowing you to move away from that stiffness or like traditional things, but then you allow yourself just to make that the body movements the way that you feel to do the things what you want to do. I think the classical ballet, it's really important for a dancer, because it allows you to sort of like understanding your own body and to feel that the body contacts, the body movements, as well as your training is how to hold yourself. That is something really important from the classical ballet. But at the same time, to move away from that is really giving you the freedom to be with yourself in a contemporary context. That's the beautiful things about contemporary dance.
Thank you, Kapila. Girls, break, break, break. We're back soon after this commercial break with part 2 of It's All About the World of Dance.
Back to the wonderful world of dance on Rendez-vous, we now focus on classical ballet. And to trace the history, ballet began in the courts of the French kings. Louis XIV himself was a wonderful dancer. The Ballet de la Nuit premiered in 1653. It took 13 hours to perform and debuted 14-year-old Louis XIV as Apollo, the Sun King, or Le Roi Soleil. The 5 positions of ballet were codified in the late 17th century by Pierre Beauchamp, who was a ballet master who became the king's dancing master in France and was later appointed head of the Royal Academy of Dance in France. And that is what all dance teachers use today.
So here at the Deana School of Dancing, it's my great pleasure to welcome its principal, Natasha Jayasuriya. Bonjour, welcome to Rendez-vous.
Bonjour and thank you for having me.
Natasha, you became the principal here. Was it by deliberate choice?
Actually not, because my mom had started the school many years ago. I think she originally started when she was a young girl. The school was established or registered in 1980. I actually pursued economics, though I did follow dance in my younger years, and then later decided to come back from the UK and take over. So restudied new techniques and affiliated myself with the Royal Academy of Dancing in the UK, and thereafter took over.
Natasha, your students' learning of ballet, is it confined to the studio here or to the stage?
I think with dance, it's never confined just to a studio or a stage. Students should be able to express themselves any time of day, and I think that's the great thing about learning dance and having other students also share their experiences with us as teachers, which gives us an opportunity to learn through them as well. Well, at present, it's confined to the studio. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, we are unable to perform at the moment. We do also have online classes, so they get an opportunity to dance from home as well as in the studio, but I think they prefer the studio. Hopefully we will be able to do shows like we did previously, which we do annually, when things get a little bit better and safer for them.
Thank you, Natasha. Keep on dancing, all of you.
Thank you.
And so now we welcome Tara Cooke from the Ballet School of Colombo. Hi Tara,
Nice
welcome
to be here.
Rendezvous. We are colleagues.
Yes.
We danced together
That's
with
right.
Auntie Usha
Yes.
at the Usha Garden of Ballet, and now today you are continuing in her footsteps.
Yes. So growing up, ballet was a significant part of my life. I was in class almost every day, and when you spend that much time with Auntie Usha, you not only learn the art form to its perfection, you also acquire a lot of strong ethics and values like hard work, discipline, perseverance. So this is why we decided to continue the school to not only give the younger generation the opportunity to learn her teachings, but also to gain some good values.
Tara, what are the challenges that you face when you teach ballet?
I think nowadays mainly the kids have such a big academic commitment that they just don't have time to come for classes. So I think that is our main thing, to get the kids to come to class more than once or twice a week, because performing arts is something that you need to practice. So that, I would say, is our biggest challenge. We're very happy to announce that we are the first and the only Sri Lankan member at the Commonwealth Society of Teachers of Dancing. We got our membership in 2020, and now we are able to offer qualifications in not just classical ballet, but also jazz, contemporary, tap, lyrical, theatrical, and a whole lot of other dance disciplines.
Remember what mama told me, brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls, your back against the world. I never trade you for anybody else, a brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls, the best thing in all the world. I never trade you for anybody.
To the sounds of Candian drums, we welcome you now to another form of dance at the Kalayatana at the Chitrasena School of Dance.
Hello, P, and welcome to Rendezvous. Tell me, how have you been able to keep the Chitrasena legacy alive? A legacy that's very much a part of Sri Lanka's dance culture for so many, many decades.
First and foremost, I must say I am really thankful and honored that I have been born into this family. And the legacy just goes on because we are continuing to work. And it has been for me, it was, nobody ever forced us to do what we are doing. When my parents retired, I took over, and now the next generation has taken over, so it just keeps going on.
And your father has a very significant link with France. He was knighted 2 days before his passing away.
So actually, when I mentioned that my father was not well and that he may not live for very long, they immediately
The ambassador came home.
Yeah, ambassador came home and gave the award 2 days before he passed, and I think it made him very, very happy.
The award was the Chevalier in the Order of Arts and Letters, Chevalier dans l'Ordre des Arts et Lettres.
Upi, you have a strong link with France in that having performed at the Theatre du Soleil with Ariane Mnouchkine, you consider it as one of your greatest highlights of the career.
Of course. And so what happened was Ariane first came to Sri Lanka and she invited Kema and me to perform our solos in Theatre du Soleil and also do a workshop with her artists. And that was the first trip. Then the second trip she invited us with our dance companies. So we had another performance at Theatre du Soleil about 7 nights. And at that point she worked on our production, where she wanted to show how I teach, because she watched it when she came to Sri Lanka, how I was teaching class. That's how she actually invited me to teach. And she wanted me to bring my a student, and she herself chose Taji, who was 12. And so Taji's first performance was in Theatre du Soleil. And for me, working with Ariane was like working with my mom, because I have always worked, my work has always, choreography was always done by my mother, and Ariane was even tougher. And for me it was really, I feel like that it's one of the highlights of my career.
I see you're reconnecting with Sri Lanka through dance, Paul.
Absolutely. It's something I really missed into my life journey in dance, and I feel so proud to be able to discover and reconnect with Sri Lanka through dance and Chitrasena, which is a traditional way of dancing here. And yes, it's now I feel a bit complete, more complete, thanks to this.
What a wonderful journey that was, from classical dance to contemporary dance and to Sri Lankan traditional dance.
Dance transcends all barriers and seamlessly brings the world together.
A fascinating cultural dialogue, a collaboration between classical Odissi dance from India with the Nityagram dance ensemble and Kandyan traditional dance from Sri Lanka with the Chitrasena dance ensemble brings this wonderful world of dance to an end.
Dagradini, dagradini.